Alright, welcome back to another video. It's been a couple of weeks since I did my last one, so I apologize for the delay. I actually have a backlog now. I think this, not counting this one, there's two more that I have to get through before I get caught up. So, welcome back to the draft video. We've got another Quinlan Green, except this time we drafted a pretty cracked Quinlan Green, if I say so myself. We had 11 people in this pod at Paradise Games. You can read up the blog post, link to the blog on the bottom right there, QR code, you can scan it with your phone. I will also leave a link in the description. But yeah, as I said, we had an 11-person pod this time around. We took 3-0, 6-0 in the pod. We had another 3-0 in the pod, Chris playing Rex Blue, and we decided to keep our draft decks built, and then we met up I think maybe 2 weeks after the draft happened, and we played, and I was able to 2-0 that one as well. So we got a pretty sick draft deck, 8-0, 4-0. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Oh, let me rewind a little bit. Okay, my bad. So I skipped the leader draft. We ended up with Quinlan and 2 Newt Gunrays. So I'm looking through the packs here. There's a Devastating Gunship, which is pretty good for the Newt. I'm not sure if I end up taking that one. I think even if I go Newt, maybe green, Coruscant Guard is pretty good. That's probably, yeah, it's between Coruscant Guard and the Devastating Gunship, I would say. I don't know why I'm putting Republic Cruiser or Defense Carrier in the front, but I don't think that card's ever really taken. Breaking In's not bad either. Maybe I put 8 from the Innocent on top just for illustration purposes or to show how bad the rare is in that pack, but yeah, I don't actually remember doing which one I picked here. Most likely the Coruscant Guard is the best pick. It's the safest pick, I would say. Yeah, first pick is always kind of tough in this game because you don't really know where you're going. I mean, I have 2 blue villain in hand, but I ended up not taking the gunship there. So this is the Coruscant Guard. This pack, Ryloth Militia is pretty good. The R2 is probably the best pick here. I like Armored Saber Tank. I think it's pretty good as well. I wouldn't hate Armored Saber Tank here, but I think R2 is just generically good to pick up other cards with him. Conspiracy's okay. There's actually some decent Newt cards here, but as we know from the overview, we end up going with Newt Gunray here. Or sorry, with Quinlan. So we take the R2 as a second pick. It's a really good early card too. 2-4 stat line's pretty good. Although I said before, you actually really want 3 power units in this format. So able to trade against Anakin's 2-drop. You don't want to get free trade like a 2-for-1 on rounds 1 and 2 against Anakin. That Corvette's pretty good. I'm not entirely locked to green here at this point. I'm pretty much locked into yellow because I think at this point I've already decided to play. Actually, that's not true. I believe, if I recall correctly, I end up taking this Malevolence because I'm not sure if I am going Quinlan Voss. If I go Malevolence, the Coruscant Guard is still playable with Newt Green. I'll just put this in the sideboard for now. I already know that I ended up going Quinn. This pack's not bad either. ETA 2 Light Interceptor is between that and the this Republic Tactical Officer. Creative Thinking I'm pretty low on lately. I feel like it's not an amazing card. There's so many unique units that you can't exhaust. And even exhausting them, yeah, you get a clone, but unless you're playing Anakin, you can't trade up with a clone usually. So you're just getting it for somewhat of a tempo-ish play. But then you might lose initiative because your opponent has 1 less unit to swing with, so I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of that one. Yeah, here I don't mind either of these 2 units in the front. Daring Raid splashable? I don't know if Daring Raid is splashable here. I think it is between the two units in the front here. Creative thinking is just not great, all things considered. I think I see I only have a bunch of 2s, so I wouldn't hate ETA 2 here. It's pretty good. You also want to have a good spread of numbers to match your opponent's play. And then you can hopefully ping their units. Sanctuary Shuttle is one of my favorite cards lately. It's just like deleting a clone token is pretty strong. And then a 2-3 space doesn't instantly die to everything. Like, there's not a lot of 3 power space units in the lower numbers. So it's not too bad. What else was in there? Favorable Delegate, Droid Cohort, or Echo. I'm a fan of Echo, but again, having the 2-drop 2/2 is pretty bad. He is kind of goated once you get the coordinate off, but other than that, it's not the best card ever. Yeah, OB ship here is good. Steel is also really good. Republic Attack Pod is probably the best pick here, although I wouldn't hate taking Prisoner of War. I don't remember which one I take. I think I end up taking the Attack Pod, maybe. Or I don't know. Yeah, it's been a while. It's kind of nice that I don't exactly remember all the picks here. Yeah, I'm taking Republic Attack Pod. Being able to play it on the flip turn for 5 potentially is very strong. Yeah, Restored Arc. Arc 170 is good here. It's probably the best card in the pack. Just having a good space presence is very handy. Ryloth, Bactoid. I'm surprised the Bactoids made it this far, to be honest. I think I make a comment here to my fellow drafters, like, how did this stay in the pod? Again, we have a very big pod here. We have 11 in the pod. It's kind of a funny number because you can't really break it too cleanly. Like 6 and 5 would be just horrible. So I think 11 is probably the edge of the upper limit of the pod size, I would say. Yeah. I don't hate Holdout Blaster here. Getting the extra 1 damage ping, I think it's kind of cool for a sideboard card in this format, especially if you're playing against decks that have Battle Droid tokens, but Quinlan already gets the ability off, so you don't really need to be running Holdout Blaster in my opinion. I think it's good in decks like Obi-Wan or, you know, ways to buff up your smaller guys for a little bit, and then getting the ping off on Battle Droid tokens is good if you don't already have one. Which Quinlan is like kind of I think it's the only one that has that kind of ability. Other than Anakin to just, you know, trade over. Yeah, Freelance Assassin, that's such an easy pick there. I think that might be one of the best, it is a common, yeah, one of the best yellow commons in the set. It's just so good. 4/2. It kind of prompts like a trade here. It prompts a trade into that unit, which is kind of annoying to deal with here. Oh, I missed which one I took there. My bad. I think it was a Headhunter Squadron, because there's nothing really much better in that pack. Yeah. That's just like, take the best of the worst there. I mean, Super Battle Droid is good if you're playing villain. It's not bad. I guess if you get Dooku playing it for 1, it's pretty good. If you have enough token generation. Another Headhunter Squadron or Strategic Acumen. I think Acumen's pretty good. Giving HP to your leader is very powerful in this format. Delegate or Unmasking the Conspiracy. I think I just take the Conspiracy for the draft value. And then we get the Dwarf Spider Droid. Dwarf Spider Droid, also one that's pretty good with in a Dooku deck. 2-drop 3/4 grit is actually not bad. I think all of these end up getting played. Maybe not the Headhunter. Conspiracy, I think sideboard-ish is probably fine. But yeah, so far it's not looking too bad. You got 1 capture card. A couple of powerful 6-drops. I put the Bactoid in the 6th slot because it's effectively a 6. Usually, I don't ever want to exploit this for 2 unless it's kind of a emergency situation. I feel like in most draft decks, you don't really get the luxury of getting the double exploit here. But this is very powerful for 4. I think I've done it before to clear like a unit that captured one of mine, or just to clear some kind of huge threat at that point, but it's kind of rare to do so. Maybe in a deck where you have like self-defeat effects, or like Nuke Gunray exploit deck might be fine. Alright, so we're moving to pack 2 here. Obedient Vanguard, hitting Sharpshooter. Dooku unit's pretty good if you're going that route. Subjugating Starfighter, breaking in. Not the best pack. The power, like the rare, is pretty much unplayable for our deck, but the other cards aren't too bad. I think breaking in, it probably is the best one. Although there's an argument to going subjugating Starfighter to get a free like token to exploit if we plan on not plan but hope to pick up some more exploit cards in the future. Resupply. I think my buddy Jim, he left it on the top just saying like, hey, just letting you know I'm passing this to you. That's an auto pick. There's no... Resupply is just so good in this format, especially if you have a 5 deploy. I mean, if you have a 6 deploy, you really want resupply. If you have a 5 deploy and you get 1 or 2 resupply, you're just absolutely cooking at that point. Aid from the Innocent, Ryloth Militia, Manufacturer Soldier, another Bactoid, Plo-Koon. I think if the Plo-Koon wasn't in this pack, I probably end up taking the Bactoid. But Plo-Koon is just like, it's one of the best cards in the set, I think. Yeah, 3, 6, and then getting the coordinate off is actually quite... it's fairly reliable, more reliable than you'd think. So yeah, it's pretty good. So far this pack, we've picked up some pretty good cards. Resupply, Plo-Koon, and Breaking In. Breaking In is such an amazing reach card. Also, getting Saboteur is really useful to counter like the late game barrage of Sentinels, like the 5 and 6 drop Sentinels. There's another Coruscant Guard there. I was tempted to take that Wolf Pack, but in fact, I don't know if I do. Maybe I do. I don't recall. Coruscant Guard is just so like versatile. 2 drop, 3/2. The ambush, yeah, it's conditional, but maybe you don't even want to play it to trade into something. If you have to do the ambush on it, then you're kind of just doing it for weakening something up. You're not very likely to get a 2-for-1 with it, unless you're killing battle droids. But like I said, with Quinlan, he kind of already does it automatically. So you take the Coruscant Guard. That probably was the best card in the pack. Another Coruscant Guard, which wouldn't be bad, but here we have, I think, 2 or 3 better options. There's a Breaking In the pack. Freelance Assassin is very solid, but I don't think we have any... I think I go for a check here to see if I have any Sentinels in the 5-6 slot, which we don't. So if I recall correctly, I think I do end up taking the B2 Legionnaire. It's very powerful, although Freelance Assassin is also quite good. Yeah, B2 Legionnaire. Solid card. 4 health kind of hurts a little bit at times, but 5 attack with Overwhelm is pretty powerful. Even just hitting back on the defense if you play and it gets traded into something, like, it's quite strong. I forgot there's a Cody in this box or pack. And I'm taking the Lux. That might have been a mistake. I'm just really high on this card. I think it's very good. Like, anytime you get a 2-drop 3/2 in this format, I think you take it. But Commander Cody is kind of he feels like a draft bomb at times. Only because if you get his coordinate off and you have a wide board already, like, you have so much damage potential on board, you can just win your games. Padme, ET2 Light Interceptor, Republic Tactical Officer. Yeah, this is not a bad pack. There's another Wolf Pack there. Padme is actually kind of interesting in this format. She has some interesting applications where getting her attack to go off to weaken like a sentinel so that you don't get hit for as much. I think she's actually maybe underrated, to be honest. In draft, I mean. Execute Order 66. I think I end up taking this one just for it's okay, I'll be honest, it's a little bit of a meme, but I've had this theory that Order 66 might be one of the better cleaner answers to Anakin if you're not playing a guy yourself. Besides, even if you kill your own leader with that Order 66, you get to you also get to create a clone. There's another resupply there. That has to be a take. Although, yeah, I think if that was already the third one, maybe you don't take it. Maybe you take the Republic attack pod to have a little bit more top end. But I'll never say no to 2 or 3 resupplies in this format. Resupply is just an amazing card. Yeah, so far the deck's looking pretty good. There's actually not much of quote like bad cards we've taken, I think. I mean, maybe objectively Order 66 is not a great pick there. It may have been better to just take the Republic attack pod. We have good units to handle like Anakin trades, but yeah, maybe having just more like units to fight with on the ground is better than trying to tech for one specific leader. Which, spoiler, if you look, go back to the match overview, I didn't actually play against any hero decks, so yeah, I was tempted to taking this Tridroid Suppressor here, but I just take the Arc again. The Republic Arc 170 over Tridroid Suppressor. Is it a beauty of Vanguard? Republic Commando. I kind of like Republic Commando. It's an interesting card. Getting Saboteur, and it has a lot of HP, so it's kind of good. I take the Vanguard just because it's cheap and to potentially match opponent units. Yeah, so Obedient Vanguard. What else did I take here? Let me go back one quick second. Vanguard, Dread Cohort, and I think that was Manufacturer Soldier. I don't think it gets played anyway, but yeah, another Plo-Koon. That's an insta grab. Although the take captive is actually quite good in this format, but Plo-Koon is Plo-Koon. Like if they, yeah, take captive is really solid actually. Like I only have one capture card in this deck right now, but like I said, Plo-Koon is Plo-Koon. I don't think you can pass a Plo-Koon. Rather you have it yourself than your opponent having it. And now we have 2 of them, so that's pretty good. Another Lux Bonteri. There's a legendary in the pack, but it's such a trash legendary that it's not amazing. Actually, that foil Pal City is kind of nice too, but Lux is pretty good. I'm also wondering there if maybe taking the Advanced Recon Commando might have been better, just for increase like the unit 3 count, because I think the 3s, we have what, 1 ground unit 3 drop, Freelance Assassin. Maybe getting the Advanced Recon was actually the better play there. It's possible. It's hard to say. There's an OC here and a take captive. I think OC is the instant take. I know other drafts have made the mistake of not taking him. I think he might be even playable off aspect. We've joked around about how his ability happens based on the number of resources you pay to play him. So if you play him off aspect for 8, you can actually capture like a Cad Bane unit or like a Bactoid, ATT, Vanguard. You can even exploit for 3, playing for 0, capture a token. so it's not bad. Breaking in on top of things is actually kind of nice, but breaking in is just, it's this set's surprise strike. I think I end up taking that one. So far maybe Advanced Recon over Lux, and then the Commander Cody over the other Lux. Although taking those two Luxes makes our early game very strong. Phase 1 Clone Trooper or Freelance Assassin. I think I end up taking the Freelance Assassin here. I think I'm checking my curve to see if I need another 2-drop here, which I don't think I need another 2-drop. So do I take the Freelance? I end up taking the Freelance. Freelance is also a nice way to wipe out like a unit, like a damage unit behind a Sentinel, because you could pay the 2 to deal something, and if you match a 3, you can actually kill something sometimes, like a 3 HP 3-drop with Freelance on the 5 turn. This pack is fairly mediocre. Not sure why I took the political pressure there. I think Wolfpack might be better. I think usually just having units is stronger, but I'm not entirely sure. I think this is the 3rd resupply over an R2. I ended up taking the resupply. I think the R2 was kind of the more conservative take, but just getting the 3rd resupply increases the odds to draw it. And I think every game that I played, well, I won all 8 games, so I can't really say, but in games where I've had 2 resupply in the deck, the odds of winning, I think, playing resupply on the turn 2 is just increases your odds quite a bit. B2 Legionnaire. I have to rewind 1 second. Sorry about this. Didn't quite see what I took after that resupply. I was on my resupply rant, so I missed it. My apologies. Yeah, there's the resupply. Was it another cohort? It might have been. Or Clone Drive Trooper or Acumen. Strategic Acumen, okay. That card's not terrible. I played some games where my leader gets perilous position, like a Rex, and then Strategic Acumen gives me some kind of use for him later, so not the worst card in the world, but it's definitely a little more specific. Favorable Delegate Hyperfoil is pretty nice. I'm kind of surprised it made it that far. Usually you get at least one person in the pod that likes shiny cards. I mean, I like shiny cards, but I'm also trying to win, so I don't take every shiny card I see. Advanced Recon is pretty good here. Although I think I probably should have had 2 of them by now instead of the other Lux. That probably makes it a little bit of stronger deck. Just having 4 3s seems pretty good. This card just feels bad into Anakin because he can just get traded so easily. So it's, I don't know, it's a little iffy in my opinion. Clone Drive Trooper. I mean, it's a playable card, I guess. Is that might be the Advanced Recon that wheeled the one I took over the Lux, so I guess it paid off. Playable Sanctuary Shuttle, last card. It's actually kind of impressive that it happens like that sometimes. Alright, so that's the drafting part. I'm going to go over to my picks. I will be back shortly. Alright, so this is what we ended up with. I think it's already looking very strong. There's an argument for not playing these Clone Drive Troopers. Droid Cohort is kind of a... I don't love this card. It feels pretty mid in my opinion. Obedient Vanguard is probably fine to play. Political Pressure, I'm not the hugest fan of. In this deck, I think we only have one exploit card, the Bactoid Spider Droid, so Political Pressure probably not playable. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the sideboard here. I think Padme probably stays over Clone Dive Trooper. In fact, I'd probably cut one, maybe put 2 in the sideboard. I don't recall exactly how many I played. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I think, as I've probably mentioned it before, I don't mind going over 30 cards in this format. The games can get kind of grindy at times, so I don't think it's the worst idea to have a couple more cards. Maybe buys you an extra round or two. Only one 4-drop, interestingly enough, in this deck that we drafted, but like our 3s are all pretty powerful. Like Sanctioner Shuttle, capturing a token, very good to like shut down opponents' exploit targets, or take a cheap Sentinel like the B1 security team. I think that Rex game I played, I used Sanctioner Shuttle twice to capture clone tokens, which was very powerful for me. Advanced Recon ended up being 2. I thought maybe I'd only drafted 1, but it probably wheeled around for some reason. I guess it seems like there was probably just not enough competition in this color combination in the pod. I think the player to my left at the end of the drafting told me he thought that I was going Newt Gunray because I had 2 of them, which it's not the worst call to make there. I mean, you see 2 Newts. I think there might have been some Anakins in the pod too, so I'm sure there was some hero competition. I don't know if I played against any. I played against that Rex Blue. Yeah, I recall that. But I don't remember what everyone else was playing. There may have been another Quinlan in the pod, but I don't recall. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like playing these big pods, like 10 plus people, 10 to 11 people, leads to some decks get really juiced, like this deck with triple resupply, double Plo-Koon, double B2 Legionnaire, an OC. I didn't take any of the other capture cards, but I feel like I have so much gas otherwise that I kind of don't need it. I mean, even like 2 breaking ins, the R2 unit, I could have taken another R2 over the 3rd resupply, but I kind of felt like maybe it wasn't necessary, to be honest. So yeah, this deck was pretty good. If you get a chance to draft Quinlan, and green is looking pretty open, I mean, or maybe code word for if resupply is passed to you, take the resupply, take your B2 Legionnaires, and as always, take your Coruscant Guards. Such a good card. 2/3/2s are kind of the blood of this format, in my opinion. Helps you fight against Anakin. You get 2-for-1s on battle droids. And then even if they're just not contested, like I think I played, not sure if it was this draft specifically, but I've played some limited games where you just kind of flood the board with cheap 3 power units, and then 4 power units on the 3. And if they can't lane match you, you just kind of outrace them because their relative power is like on the ground is higher than the space one. So, alright, I guess that's it from me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.